Mercedes 560 SL, which was the biggest engine you could buy back then, and we have one here, and we are going to dry ice clean the engine bay. And why we're going to use dry ice and not any degreaser, steam or water, we're going to tell you in a minute. So let's see what we can make out of this already beautiful looking SL560.
Mercedes-Benz 560 SL Coupe Roadster. Is it the car you wanted above all others because of its mighty V8 power? Or its blend of quick reflexes and sumptuous comfort? Or its incredible workmanship and finish?
So as I just told you, the 560 was the biggest engine you could buy back then. However, we in Europe, we could actually not buy this car. We only had the 500 SL as the biggest and most expensive version we could buy. So this car was only delivered to the US, Japan and Australia. They actually mainly chose the bigger engine since in the US they had very strong rules on emissions. To get at least 227 brake horsepower, they had to pick the bigger engine. And that's the main reason they chose the bigger engine for these markets. And this 560 SL with the 5.6 liter engine, they were built between 86 and 89. And this was actually quite loved with all the business people and also jet set. It was a very expensive car back then. If you were very successful back in the 80s, beginning 90s, you need to have an SL 560. Before we're going to start with dry ice, we're actually first going to remove the air filter and some other easy bits to access the engine bay a bit further. We're also going to cover up the paint because it's recently polished, so we do not want to damage the paint, so we're going to cover all the paint. And we also have to cover up the radiator, because if ice with the pressure we're going to use, the radiator will be completely finished. So we have to be careful with that as well. So first we're going to do that all, and then we're going to actually start dry ice cleaning. So we're now going to dry ice clean the engine bay. And for the people that do not know what dry ice is, I tried to explain it a little bit. Basically, CO2 pellets of -80 degrees, and we actually put them in the machine. You actually have different sizes of pellets. We use sizes of pellets of 3 mil, and the machine will crush it a little bit more, and then we'll put it out of the machine with air pressure. Different air pressures you can use for this engine bay. We probably use 6 or 7 bar. With the air pressure and the very cold ice, the dirt will get a shock and will fall off basically. So we can remove all the grease, oil and other kind of dirt. But the main reason why we're going to use this in the engine bay is that we can actually reach all the hard to get areas we can't reach with our hands or with a towel or with a brush. So to get it very clean and detailed, dry ice is really the solution. And next to that, dry ice do not actually has any moisture. So normally ice will get water, but this ice will get gas after it will be ice. So it will not get any moisture. So for all the electrics of the car, this is absolutely amazing. So very interesting for old cars with these electronics that are not maybe made to get any water. With newer cars, it's normally not really a big problem to go with the pressure washer in the engine bay. I say more normally, it's not always the case. You always have to be careful. So therefore, we are going to use dry ice, so we will be safe up there. For us, the main reason we use dry ice is that we can just get in all the hard to get areas we normally can't get to, although normally without removing all kinds of parts we maybe will get to it, but now we don't have to remove anything and we will get to clean it. We received dry ice and we actually now have a bucket of 25 kilo. And usually you actually see a big bucket outside that is a 120 kilogram container of dry ice. But this week we did not need that much ice. Therefore we have this 25 kilo one, which is enough for the engine bay. Because we actually have to use the dry ice within 1 or 2 days, we can extend it a little bit longer. However, then we have to risk that dry ice will clog up the machine. And then we have to defrost the machine, and it's a lot of effort and there's no need to. So I always try to use it within 1 or 2 days. We can extend it. So we're going to start detailing this engine bay to absolutely clean every little detail. So this is actually a Mercedes SL type, I believe R107. This is a US version. You can actually see that on the bumpers and also the headlights. So the US car had a few differences as the bumpers, the headlights. Also you see here the third brake light. I think it was a rule for the American market so that you have to have that. And also the back bumpers are different as well. And in this case we have the 560 SL. Of course we have miles and not kilometers, but for the rest I don't know what the other differences are with the US car and the European car, so let me know in the comments what you think is different from the European one and the US version. And then we finished. It is absolutely shining, it is super clean, every detail we had. Yeah, the customer can pack it up. We're gonna now drive the car outside. We have to move this one actually. This is also a very cool Mercedes, and B123 230, which is also finished and will be picked up later today as well. We did not have a video about this one, but this had some rust issues. We welded it, we treated it with corrosions. We actually treated it against rust. It had quite some rust issues, ready for its new life. Very nice car as well. But no video about this one, unfortunately. We can't make videos of all the cars we have. I do not have that much time, but maybe in the future we can make even more videos. Let's see what's gonna happen. We're gonna move this car to get this car out.